11 o'clock, it is time to learn about the law in the studio. Vanessa Lane Jennings is charming us with her charmingness. And the show is called Legal Lane. We're going to learn about the law. And by the way, one of the ways we learn, excuse my noisy microphone. One of the ways we learn is when you ask questions. And so the phone line is open. We invite you. We encourage you. We ask you to call. The number is 622-9622 if you're out of the area. The area code is 352. I mentioned this morning, Vanessa, when I was telling the audience that you would be here. This is, we have a chemistry with you, Robin and I. We yuck it up, and that doesn't happen with everybody, but for some reason we've clicked. Do you feel it too? I hope you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would hope you think that we click because we're friends now.
And so it causes our professionalism to take a back seat. We're not sticking on topic as much as we should.
That happens.
Yeah. So, but the audience, I want them to know that they've got serious issues, legal issues that are really, really just keeping them up at night. You can maybe get an answer right now on the radio, although I think maybe in person would be better, don't you think? It's kind of hard on the radio.
If they want to call in, they can sum it up really quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to sum it up quickly, but there's always. I like hypotheticals. They can even make situations up.
Yeah.
And say it's a made-up situation. What would happen in this case?
What would happen? Okay.
Right. And by made-up, I mean this is what is actually happening.
What would happen if I died under surgery and I didn't have any life insurance? Don't answer that because I have a phone call coming in. Phone calls are better than my made-up stuff. Okay, let's go to the phone. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on there with Vanessa.
Good morning. I have a question about, any advice towards when you have an adjacent property with very large trees, and then over time a number of them have fallen. It's actually an abandoned or a non-developed city street, and it's has some pine trees. It looked like they're long enough to make it and hit my garage and house. I've talked to actually the mayor. We had one or two taken down in the past without any trouble. I guess there's a change in administration, and they did a survey and took some down, but they said they had it in the budget to take these 50 or 60 trees out, but they still haven't done anything. It's been over a year. Any advice how to proceed without making the city mad at you?
Well,
good question.
I mean, you want them to work, so they might get a little mad at you. Without having to go and sue them or do anything else, that's something that if nothing gets done, you could always go to a city council meeting and put it on the agenda, and it'll be something that you could bring up to everybody. That way, yes, you brought it up to a couple people, but that way it's put on the public docket and it's made part of the public record, and you might get a little bit more action.
Better than certified mail. Okay, thank you.
That is better than certified mail, because that's on the record then.
Thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
That was a good answer, actually, because a lot of people think certified mail is the way to do it,
Well, there's nothing wrong with certified mail, but this way you're actually going to get a response.
All right, You got another phone call? Good morning. You're on there with Vanessa.
Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning.
What I'd like to know, is I have a small radio, and I just want to find out, is a loophole for the law to look around for, let's say, for the entire community, for me to broadcast. I just want to find out the connection of my business. You know what I'm talking about.
Are you asking what the federal laws are for broadcasting on the radio? Your own show?
Are you there?
Did we lose him?
I'm here.
There he is.
Okay, did you understand her question?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I just the finance for that has to be like for let's say the legal issues for it.
Okay, that's going to be a kind of a lengthy question. So if you're more than welcome to call my law firm at 352-804-0092, and we can set up an appointment and I can walk through the process with you.
It's a long answer, sounds like. Did you get the number?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
There you go. Oh. Federal law. Would you have to have a special, like a broadcasting attorney or something?
Not necessarily.
everybody
but you
has-
just have to be licensed in the federal courts.
Where do you go for research? I mean, you can't go to Google. You can't trust that, right? Where do you go when you have to look up
can't
the
trust Google?
right?
What? One of my clients brought me yesterday, in fact, a list of something that Google said about Florida law, and I was like, none of that's true.
Oh, really?
She's like, Google failed me. I'm like, yes, Google failed you.
Because when I went to an attorney, which was my car accident, then when I went to attorney for my mom's house and her will and all that, they have a library of actual books. Do you have the same thing?
I have a library of books. However, I do not believe I've ever opened them since law school and or since I bought the statute books, because you don't need to anymore. Everything's online, not Google online.
Oh,
but
I see. So
we have Westlaw, we have LexisNexis, and Fastcase. Those
Okay.
are 3 different legal search engines that you can subscribe to, and well, Fastcase is any Florida bar member can use it.
Okay.
But
So when you have to look up something in the law, for example, let's say you didn't know broadcast law, but you could still handle it because you're qualified. Any questions you might have about that or whatever, you can find it reliably on those websites.
absolutely. You can look up, what you do is you look up the statute, or the statute that goes with what it's about, and then from there they have what they call annotated statutes, and you go through that and you see exactly what all the case law is, because it'll say this, if happens, you need this particular case, and then you can click on that case and read it and see how it applies to your fact pattern.
Okay. There was a call to Clark Howard the other day. It was from a guy who had been divorced from his wife. They have 50-50 sharing of the children.
Okay.
And he wanted to name the children as, not the heir, but what do they call it if you die?
It's there.
Yeah, heir? Okay. But
heirs.
he wanted to set it up so that if he died, that his wife wouldn't get the money. Is that hard to do? It seems,
Wait, so they're divorced,
oh,
right?
his ex-wife, yeah. He was afraid because they were minors that if he were to die and the money would be there for them, that she would actually have control of it.
Well, it depends on if you take safeguards. One of the safeguards you can do is set up a trust. And if you set up a trust, you could delineate exactly what happens to that money. What I tell my clients when they come and see me, think of it as your hand reaching from the grave and controlling the purse strings even after you've passed. It's a little morbid to say it like that, but that's how it is.
Right.
With just a will, you don't have the ability to really control the purse strings. It's more of a finite thing.
Right.
But this, you can, for perpetuity, for on and on and on and on, you can control it. Our family my personal family has a trust from the 1700s.
Really?
It's still, late 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah. A gun trust. It's a gun that's passed down from family to family to family.
Wow. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, it's in my parents' house.
Oh, wow.
The trust? No.
And it's yours?
But the gun, yes.
The gun is, not yours.
The gun's my dad's, and
That's
it's
your dad.
supposed to go to the firstborn male.
Okay. Well, that's not fair.
It's a pirate's gun. Well, it's really bad because our generation has no male. They're all
okay.
females.
Okay, so who gets the gun?
Well, the trust then would dissolve because it has literally no one to go to. So in our family, we're just redoing the trust or creating a new one, and it's going to actually the youngest born daughter.
Does the gun work?
I don't think anyone's tried in
No.
centuries.
Literally centuries.
Yeah.
Wow, that's got to be an expensive gun.
I don't know if it is or not. It's more of a memorabilia thing.
Really? You should take it to Jerry and get him to analyze it. Or what do you call it when you figure out how much something is worth?
Appraise.
Appraise it. Thank you. By the way, when you say purse strings, I know what you mean. But where does that word come from? Are there really some strings like on purses that I don't know about?
Well, that would have been, I think it comes, I'm making all this up as we go along right this second because it's not law. I think it comes from like Victorian period where the women had the little silk purses and they didn't have zippers or anything, so they literally would have drawstrings that would close them.
You
So
just
it's the
made
purse
that up?
string.
That sounds right.
Well, that's what I've always pictured it to be because I read way too much Jane Austen
Oh, okay.
as a young person.
All right, we have a little break coming up. If you want to call in, you are invited to do that. We always have a good time with Vanessa, and I don't want you to think because we're having a good time, you don't want to call up with your serious issue. Absolutely, we want you to, but not if it's going to embarrass you. If it's going to embarrass you, then the suggestion is to go to Vanessa in her office. But here's the deal: that if you share with us whatever it is you're going through, as long as you're not embarrassed by it, then we actually learn from it. We learn from every call. So we'll take your calls after the break. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixing with clouds this Friday, high 84 to 88. Then partly cloudy skies Friday night. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in spots near the coast during the evening hours. The low 65 inland, 71 along the coast. For Saturday, partly sunny, warm and humid with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 85 to 89. Sunday, partly sunny with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
People say stop and smell the roses, but that's not easy when your nose always closes. When life gets busy and your nose flares into a tizzy, acupuncture can clear up your nose so that you don't sound like Miss Piggy. Come see me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare just off of 27th Avenue behind the Paddock Mall. Call today to set your acupuncture appointment, 352-615-5566, and visit abetteryouhealthcare.com.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Most planes get a set of freshly washed blankets and pillows for the first flight of the day. After that, they're folded up, they're reused. Babies consistently cried less when their father was close by compared to when dad was absent, and that response was observed even in the delivery room. Try to stick to your usual sleep and wake times as much as possible, even on the weekends. Your waistline and your hearts are going to thank you.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Here she is, folks.
The nuns at Queen of Angels will never be the same after Dolores moves in. Sister Act Once a Movie, now live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater May 19th through June 12th. After witnessing a murder, Dolores hides out as Sister Mary Clarence and turns the little church upside down. Call 352-236-2274 or buy online at ocalacivictheater.com. It would be a sin to miss it.
WWWOCA WWWOCA.
Be sure to tune in to Ocala's longest-running morning radio talk show.
AM Ocala Live from 7 a.m. till noon, weekdays.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com.
All right, 11 minutes before 11 o'clock. Nice-looking Friday. Vanessa is in the studio, Vanessa Lane Jennings. And the show is called Legal Lane. If you have a question about the law, Vanessa is here to answer those questions. She is an attorney here in Ocala. By the way, what is your office number, Vanessa?
My office phone number is area code 352-804-0092.
And it's clear that some questions have a deeper, longer... It's not sound bites in your business.
No, sound bites normally get us in trouble.
Yeah. Doing anything for the holiday weekend?
Working.
You're working all weekend?
Yeah.
Really?
I took the last 2 weekends off, so I have to work this weekend.
Oh. Are your clients going to be with you, or you do?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, okay. So
not in a bad way. I want my clients to go have fun.
It's work that you can do in the office.
Yeah, it's work that I can't do during Monday through Friday.
Can you do it on a laptop on the beach?
Theoretically, if my laptop lasted that long. But yeah, and I didn't, mind my laptop getting a little salt air. But yeah, no, I could do it anywhere.
Yeah, really.
But it's always easier to be in the office because if you need something, you just go pull it off the shelf.
Yeah. Do you work with veterans at all? Are veterans issues a different animal? I know that when veterans are here on Thursday, we have a veteran show, that they have an attorney that comes in, I think his name is Rick something, and it sounds like a lot of their issues are I mean, it's cut and dried. If you have a date that you have to have something in by, and you miss that date, you're out of luck.
That's government for you.
That's government.
I don't do veterans issues regularly. For everything, what I mostly do is help them set up trusts when they're about to enter into either a group home or they want to set up all their assets and they want to protect their assets to make sure that there's something left over for their family. So I set up a lot of personal trusts.
Is the gun that's in the trust for you? Is it does it have a military connection? Was it used in any war or something?
No.
No?
Well, yeah, no, yes. It's one of the first pirates was Captain Henry Jennings, and it's his gun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be worth something.
I'm sure it is.
Captain Henry Jennings.
Yeah.
And he was a pirate.
Well, yes. He came up with the first Jolly Roger flag.
He did.
Yep. It's ugly, but he came up with the first one.
Okay, so a pirate in today's world is a criminal.
Well,
Was he a criminal?
He was a landowner and a businessman who got mad at King George, and he did not approve of taxes. Which, knowing my family, that's probably not too far of a stretch. It's gone down through the men generation.
The whole country.
But so he had land in the Caribbean and decided he was done with it. And he wasn't, I don't want to say a nice pirate, but he wasn't one who went out and killed people or anything like that. It was more of a political thing where he would go and take goods that was heading from one place to another and then sell them.
He might need a lawyer.
He probably needed a lawyer. But yeah, he stopped. But then the people who took over and some of the people under his tutelage became some very famous, infamous pirates and weren't so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. Mm-hmm. Does it look like what you picture when you picture a pirate gun? Like the curved handle and all that?
Yeah.
Really? You haven't tried to shoot it?
No. It's in a glass case. We haven't done anything with it.
I'm serious. You should bring it to Jerry at Jerry's Pawn and Gun. He knows guns.
I am not about to take that out of my parents' house. My parents will shoot me with one of the other 200
Oh, I
guns
see. I
they
see.
have.
Okay, never mind then.
I value my life.
I'm just curious. Not that I would encourage you selling it at all. I would never sell that if I had
it's
it.
never going to be sold.
But it would just be. Wouldn't you be curious what it's worth? No.
No. Because to us, it's invaluable.
So then what? So okay. Yeah. So insurance wouldn't do any good because you can't replace it even if you had the money.
Well, right. The only reason you would want insurance would be to fix it. Like if for some, someone was and it dropped and it broke and you needed it fixed. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that'd be very costly to find probably one or two people in the United States who could probably fix it.
Let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Vanessa.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. Not to give too much free advertising to Jerry, but he does advertise that he'll come to your home to evaluate a firearm.
That's right, he does, yeah.
You'd have to go all the way to Sarasota, though.
They're in Sarasota.
Yeah, they don't live here.
Never mind
But
then.
he might like that. It could be a vacation for
Never
Jerry.
mind.
Jerry might like
Okay,
that.
have a good day.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know a thing about guns, and he knows everything. So I'm on the other side of the seesaw.
Fair enough.
I'm high up in the air. He's got the weight. I don't in this case. In every other case, I do have the weight. So if we have an insurance policy
Yes.
and our insurance company is denying us what we think we're owed,
Which is about 5 of my cases right now. Yes.
okay, are we usually wrong? Because usually we sign our agreements when we buy insurance and don't really know what we're signing.
Not necessarily. And a lot of times it's not that you're wrong, because if you go to do a valuation of it, most people just go to Google and say, okay, this Tiffany lamp is worth X amount of dollars, or this, chest of drawers is worth X amount of dollars. And you can find the value go online and find it, about approximately how much that sells for. But a lot of times the insurance companies want you to take extra steps, and that's where, I don't want to say people are wrong, because that's not the right terminology at all. People just get a little more frustrated, because sometimes you need to call in a Jerry to come in and appraise it.
Somebody who knows the stuff.
Someone who knows.
We have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Vanessa.
Good morning, everyone. I hate to ask this question, but I will. The Sheriff Blair thing, can you give me or give us some sort of a sense of how you see it and where it might be going?
Well, unfortunately for Sheriff Blair, he was found just trying to be as politically correct as humanly possible, because I know him and he's personally he's nice. He was found during his grand jury, because what they do is, in Florida, when you want to charge someone when the state attorney's office wants to charge someone with a crime, you have two ways it could be done, really. You could do it with an information, which is called a charging document, and that's where the state attorney's office files a piece of paper with a court that says, I'm charging a person with X crime, and X crime, and it lists out, the crimes that were committed. The other way to do it, which is not as common in Florida, but is common in other places, is to convene a grand jury, and then to allow citizens to say, yes, a crime occurred, no, a crime didn't occur. At that grand jury, apparently, they found him to have perjured himself, to have not told the truth under testimony, which led to, I believe, 3 felony counts. So he's looking at whether or not he knew, did he know what he was saying was false? Did he just give a false recollection? Sometimes that does happen. Sometimes you don't remember the facts exactly the way they are, especially when it's a big thing and you play it over in your head a couple times, and people's memories aren't perfect. So did he do that, or did he knowingly lie under oath, which is a crime?
And so far, we don't know, because it's a charge, not a done deal, right?
Right, and that's one of the things that, as a defense attorney, yes, there's evidence out there that shows, because I think the big one is whether or not the individual, the suspect at the time, he saw him. Did you see him? And I believe from what the newspaper said, because that's all I know, is that he saw him only from behind, but then there's now a photo that has
video,
been on. I didn't see the whole video. All I saw was a still frame from the video, and it shows that the suspect was walking right in front of Sheriff Blair.
Yeah.
But
the part that sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
The part that's really concerning for me is that there were, I believe it was 8 different instances where there was excessive force, either suggested or proven or alleged, and they were all deemed to be, unique, isolated incidents. And now we have an example, with some proof. Sure, I understand it has to, be vetted through the courts and such, but now we have some proof of at least one incident that did happen and that he knew about it, and I don't see where he can have any credibility left, and this really, really reflects poorly on all of us in the county.
And I can appreciate that, I really can. It's, whether it reflects poorly on our entire county, that's always hard, because does one person ruin it for everybody? And does one person even ruin it for the entire department? I mean, it definitely, for sure, has made the sheriff's election that's coming up this year much more heated and interesting.
Sure is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Interesting call. He hung up. That is. I mean, it's a topic we've kind of gone full circle with, I guess, and the general consensus conclusion is that there is no conclusion yet. So how do we, as the citizens, say anything unless the court has made a determination as to whether, like you say, did he forget? Did he remember wrong, or did he intentionally lie?
Right, and that's something that we can make value judgments on all day long,
right.
Because it's very easy to
we
sit,
don't know.
On your high horse, and I don't want to say everyone's on their high horse, but I would view it that way, sit up there and say, yeah, of course, Sheriff Blair was absolutely wrong. And what he did, he knew what he was doing, and he was trying to hide all the corruption in the system. But on the other side, there is always an opportunity, maybe he actually did not recall the facts correctly.
But gosh, I wish we had more time. But when we have character witnesses called up, in using his character past, I mean, he's always been an upstanding guy to me. So.
Right, but then they always bring up the corruption that has been going on and the other officers.
Times, yeah.
So it's been complicated all the way around.
Well, you have a good Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you. You as well.
Don't work too hard.
You too, Robin.
Thank you, Vanessa. I hope you have a good one.
This is WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back.
96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. President Obama visiting Hiroshima, Japan, the site of one of 2 U.S. atomic bomb attacks near the end of World War II.